Yeah, I mean, obviously not a typical fourth quarter for us, in terms of ball movement, executing. It felt like there was a little bit of a lid on the hoop. But I think our ability to kind of stay composed, understanding it was a long game, they went up with 2 minutes left. We called a timeout, and I think it was just like, we've been here. Felt really familiar in terms of just what we've kind of dealt with all year. Player goes down, obviously, kind of gutted for that situation, and hoping for the best. But it's not easy, especially with them losing a key piece. To come in, and still got to respect all players. Everyone's going to step up and play even better in the absence of their best player. And I think that kind of was eye-opening to us. Like, we have to go out and not take our foot off the gas, and understanding, we were up big in the third, and kind of let them come back and climb back into it.
Sabrina, Coach Rondello often speaks that experience seems to be the difference this time around. So how did your prior experiences help you guys pull this one out?
I mean, you've been able to see it all year, even with just 1 year together. It's like we still haven't been playing together that long, but just having one season together as a group, it's like we've kind of seen everything and have understood what it feels like to be down and up and in different situations. And we were kind of able to see there, especially like at that 2-minute mark, we just stayed composed. We took great shots when we needed to, get the ball in the right people's hands, fought for every ball, got stops when we needed to. And, obviously it wasn't a pretty win, but you got to be able to win ugly, especially in this league. Not everything's going to look great, and we hold ourselves to a really high standard, which is why the morale might be a little bit low with a win like this. But at the end of the day, we're 3-0 against Vegas in this regular season, and that's huge. Like, we were able to grind out a win regardless of what it looked like on the box score.
How does Asia being out make things difficult for you all schematically, but also mentally as well?
Yeah, I mean, that's a dangerous team when a player comes out, and especially of her caliber and what she does for that team. Everyone's going to have to step up and do things a little bit better. And obviously, we didn't really have time to prepare for what that was going to look like. We found out right before the game as well. And so I think it's that understanding and that feeling of the last time they were on this court, they won a championship. And so for us, it was kind of that mentality of it doesn't matter who's out there. It doesn't matter at all. It's just understanding we got to come out and take care of business and win. We don't want to feel that again. And I think you were able to see that grinded out win, and efforts from everybody was huge in order for us to make sure that didn't happen.
Sabrina, you talk about expecting greatness and maybe morale being a little bit lower after a win like this. Just explain what that conversation's like in the locker room after a win of this style.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone understood we were able to play a lot better than what we did. And I think that goes to show kind of where this team's at. Like, we're not just satisfied with a win. And I think that just goes to show how we demand greatness of ourselves every time we step out there. And obviously that wasn't Liberty basketball and our best basketball. And being able to hold yourself to that standard is a blessing, but also understanding like it's a win. We got to win against a really good team, and we got to come back and go to Dallas and win again. And so not really getting too down on something like this, but just continue to grind through it and stay together.
Is that from the Sydney Colson blog?
Absolutely. Yep, right here. Left her mark.
Ooh,
yeah, left her mark.
All right.
Sabrina, when you see a player like Benigno go down, how difficult is it, for you to just kind of lock back in and just refocus on the game?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that was the tough part, I would say. It didn't look fun, it didn't look good, but she's strong. She's dealt with this kind of, the last couple of years, and she's always been able to bounce back. We don't think it's anything too serious, and so just kind of wrapping our arms around her as she's going to return back to play. But obviously, I mean, you never want to see anyone go down. Even Asia being out, it sucks. It sucks for the game. It sucks for us. We want our best players playing in this league, and you never kind of wish that upon anyone. And so, our arms are wrapped around her, and we'll see what happens.
So,
Was the difference was in the last 2 minutes of the third quarter for most of the fourth, allowed them to go on that 20 run?
Yeah, I mean, there's a team playing with nothing to lose, and players that came in, I think their bench came in and had confidence. They had the green light to go out there, and you kind of, a dangerous team is one that has nothing to lose. And that come out there, we were up, I think, 13 or whatever it was at some point, and they hit shots. I mean, credit to them. They were playing really hard, making things difficult for us, understanding they were going to have to be really aggressive to win this game. And players like Sydney Colson came in and hit shots. They were being aggressive, and Kelsey had a great game. So, you know, everyone stepped up in the absence of their best player being down, and I think we were a little rattled and played a little bit rough.
Whether it's last year, there were top two that we see this year, we're going to shake it a little bit. You mentioned like the opportunity to come in and players. Is that something you always say note of, that team with championship and you kind of have those players that come on and play the left or playing?
Yeah, I mean, they beat us last year in the finals on our home court with 2 starters out. And so, you know, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Everyone in this league is amazing, and they're a very experienced team. You know, they've kind of been there, done that. They've won multiple championships. They understand what it takes to win, and those teams are dangerous. Like, if you kind of come into a game like this and take your foot off the gas and relax because their best player's out, you kind of run the chance of losing. And so I think we played a little bit not to lose there at the end instead of just continuing to chip away and win. And obviously really glad we came out with the win, but definitely can't play like that again.
I just
What
wanted
does,
to
it mean for,
comment.
what does it mean for you guys mentally to grab a win over a team that you guys might see again in the postseason, also the team that beat you guys last year in the finals?
It's huge. I mean, every single game in this league is big. You want to win every series. You know, obviously it doesn't really matter who we see in the playoffs, but like, this is a home court game for us. Obviously 18,000 fans cheering for us, and we didn't want to let this opportunity go by and kind of end this homestand with a bad taste in our mouth. So it was big. Obviously we need to find ways to win, whether it's pretty or ugly, and you know, I'm proud of the way that we fought, even though we didn't play great.
Steph's there courtside, Clay, D-Book, some of the best shooters in NBA history. You're one of the greatest shooters in WNBA history. What's that feeling like, having the best shooters in the men's game sitting there courtside watching you play and take break?
Yeah, I mean, obviously great. You know, Steph and I have been talking for a long time now in terms of shooting ability, but just the game, and you know, super happy. I've obviously watched and been to a lot of his games. I think this is his first one he's come to of mine as a professional, which is crazy. He's come to a lot in college, but you know, obviously excited to see him there and all of them there supporting the women's game. It's huge for us, and glad we could work in front of them.
One of the things that has been key for this rugby team is the defense, and it's slated to post its best defensive rating in almost a decade. You know, where do you think the differences in the defensive output from this rugby team versus other teams you've been on?
I haven't been on other teams.
Other Liberty teams.
I'm like, my God, am I going somewhere? I think, you know, the ability to see the versatility that we have of players coming in, but also there being no drop off from the bench. I mean, KT, KB come in, Niara comes in, Leo comes on with just defense kind of as a mindset, understanding that we can really make things difficult whether the ball goes in or not. Especially in a game like this, late, we got a lot of defensive stops that were huge for us, and we know we could put the ball in the basket, but if we're able to kind of grind teams out defensively and get stops, we knew that was kind of that key missing piece for us to win a championship, and hopefully we're able to see it kind of on full display this year.
To build off of Dave's question a little bit, you know, so much is the same, like what the coaching staff say to you guys, how can they motivate you, but how do you as players now hold yourself accountable after a win like that and a busy week coming up in North Texas?
Yeah, no, I mean, we all talk about it. Like, you know, like I said, that locker room wasn't all happy and giddy when we got in there. And that's like a championship caliber team. You're not really satisfied with just the win. It's the way things have been executed. It's the way we played. I didn't play great. So it's kind of understanding, like, you got to go back and figure out ways that you can continue to improve and get better, and hold yourself accountable and figuring out, you know, what it is, where was the slippage, and make sure that it doesn't happen again. Obviously, basketball is basketball. The ball's not always going to go in. You know, everything's not always going to be dandy. But understanding a lot of the stuff was in our control on what we could have done, and I'm excited to see how we responded to this. We seem to respond well after games like this.
Thanks for your comments. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, Kayla, after a win like that, how do the players kind of hold themselves accountable, especially with this week in North Texas coming up? Oh, Dallas.
Oh.
Sorry.
Yeah, repeat it, sorry. The North Texas coming up. What'd you say?
How does the team hold each other accountable after a game like that and with a busy week in Dallas coming up?
Got you.
Sure.
Yeah, I think we gotta go back and watch film. I think that third quarter was kind of ugly. I think we kind of went away from things that we normally do. I think we went away from, kind of sharing the ball and just making the easiest pass to the right person and stuff like that. But this is kind of like a glimpse of how playoffs would be, and we just gutted it through and, made things happen.
Coach Rondello has often spoken about how experience is the major difference for you guys this time around, what you went through last year. So how did last year's experience kind of fuel you and help you out this time around?
Because I think, this is kind of like what kind of happened last year at this time of the year, around October, I want to say 18th or 17th maybe. I'm not, sure. And, having that same feeling where it was kind of tight, where they had people out, and I think, not purposely wanting to relax, but, sometimes you get complacent because, they didn't have their whole roster, and then now you have other players stepping up because, they have to lose, So understanding that, you can't take your foot off the pedal because everybody in this league is great, from the bench all the way to your starters.
How did you all keep it together as a team when Vanija went down?
Yeah, I hope she's okay, but she's a big part of what we do. But I think that's kind of been our adversity that this whole year, and I think we have people step up and stuff like that. So in that case, it wasn't, strange because we've had that happen. So it was just a point of, stepping up and, getting through it.
Was part of it, playing for her too?
Oh, definitely, absolutely. Playing for her, playing for, what happened last year, just playing for ourselves, playing for us to keep the momentum that we had going into playoffs.
KT, we always talk about players just being ready, getting ready. What is it about this team and the players on this team that you guys are just able to be ready whenever your numbers are called?
Yeah, I think it's just us just sticking together. I think most of it is, I think I kind of take the leadership and letting them know that, know who you are, don't forget that, and just stay with it. Because, as I always preach, it's God's timing is right, you know what I'm saying? And you just never know. Yes.
Sabrina, rebounding shots for you guys late in that second half of the fourth quarter. What growth have you seen from last year to this year, especially in the big moments?
Sabrina has really grown, I think, a lot as far as just her, she's always had good IQ, but her IQ on the ball, handling it, able to assist and stuff like that, but still be able to be aggressive and score. She's been doing a tremendous job on that, and I, kudos to her for the work that she's put in on that and being able to hit tough shots and handle the ball and even her defense.
KT. In a game like this, in a roller coaster game like this, up by 20, up by 1, is a game like this needed with the playoffs, rapidly approaching? Is a game like this help your mindset, stuff, get ready for the playoffs?
Absolutely, because everything's not gonna be easy, and that kind of just makes you realize what you have to do. You could be up, but then all of a sudden, they're coming back. It's kind of a glimpse of what happened with them in Connecticut. We're just blessed that we came through with it. I kind of think it makes us prepared to understand what we have to do, but I love that we stay consistent and we stay together, and that was the most important thing.
How big of a factor do you think winning the rebounding battle was?
Oh, a big factor. I think that helped us towards the end. Leo had a big rebound, JJ also. So, having size around the perimeter and in the paint helped a lot.
You just emphasized. Yes, go on. Fine.
One of the things that New York's had success against Vegas is on glass offense and defense. You had a few key offensive rebounds tonight. How important is it for this team to just secure those possessions and limit extra offensive opportunities?
Well, you see, it's very key. Vegas is a great team. They have great shoes outside, so to be able to secure that so they don't have those second opportunities is extremely important.
You just said that we stayed together, and you emphasized that. I guess, what exactly does that mean?
That means that, at times like this, you often see teams, get into their own heads, get into different islands. Some teams, they feel like they, I got to take it upon myself to do it. And I don't think we did that this time. And I think that's kind of what made the difference. We all said, look, we're going to do this together on both ends of the court, and I think that's what was successful.
Hi, Kayla. We've talked a lot about just how Barclays Center's crowd always really gives you guys that extra energy.
Right.
Just when you guys are on the court, just what's it feeling like of having a crowd that serves almost as a sixth man for you guys when you're out
Yeah,
there?
man, it gives you butterflies. You know, for me, especially, I can't talk about anybody else, but for me, it gives me that energy. You know, when things are not really going well for me, I just look out into the crowd and it gives me that boost to do like those extra hustle plays to get myself going. So the crowd plays a big part for me, and I appreciate them.
Kayla, how does it feel to like see a sold-out arena with 18,000 people, knowing that it's an opening day of football, and the WNBA and the New York Liberty and the Aces kind of like took over that today? How does that feel?
It's a blessing, but it also shows that, you know, we're here now. You know what I'm saying? We're being recognized, and you know, we're taking priority over a major sport that is very well known. So, man, kudos to everybody that's been, you know, bringing attention to our league and stuff like that. So that's amazing that they came out on a Sunday night. It's Sunday, right?
Yes.
Right. on a Sunday evening to watch us instead of, you know, those football teams.
Piggyback off of that, so the league has grown so much. Is there a specific game when you came out and you knew that we had entered into a new era of fans and superstardom for the league?
Yeah, I think mostly almost every game. You know, I think almost every game has kind of been like that. You know, some games are a little different. I guess you kind of say like playing in Indiana and stuff like that with that hype and all that. But I think all the games have been, and it's exciting to see.
Thanks
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.